What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Next Chapter Forward, where we help black men over 50 consider leaving the United States and living abroad for whatever reason, right? So as you can see, I'm out on my morning walk, coming through some of the more traditional neighborhoods. Folks are out here sleeping in that right there as we walk by. So I don't want to be too loud. I don't want to be a little respectful. So guys, I had a great interview, which I'm going to put on the channel. Great interview with April and Rondell Yarborough. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Yarboroughs, but they're one of the OGs in this travel game. They've been on the road since 2017. They're a black couple. Rondell is from Detroit. I can't remember exactly where April's from, but I interviewed Rondell for Next Chapter Forward. And he was great, had some great insight. And one of the things I wanted to share with you guys, how they first got over here, overseas. They started teaching in Wuhan, China. They were teaching English in Wuhan, China. And he said that it's great to try to learn wherever you go. Try to pick up the language. Because one, you don't get beat out as easily, on your money and transactions and whatnot. And two, you're missing out on a huge culture. Now, what he did say was a little intimidating. He said it takes you about 80 hours to learn a language. So he said, view it as a job. And I said, ooh, I don't know if most people want to look at language learning as a job situation, but that's what he said. And he's a guy that's taught English in different countries. And so I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys. Another couple things that he talked about is that a lot of times it's very difficult to get brothers in the States on the mindset that there are better opportunities outside the United States. You've been propagandized to so heavily that you have fear when you think of leaving the United States or living outside the United States because all the bullshit that they tell us, right? All the BS narratives that we hear, they're exactly what that is, BS. To think that you can't find some place in 194 other countries in the world, that you can't find some place that vibrates and resonates with you better than what you find in the United States, I think that's nonsense. So he was talking about the fact that everywhere they go, everywhere that he and April have traveled, they find black people. So we're all over the planet. And, especially Africans, there are Nigerians everywhere. 1 in 5 black people on the planet are Nigerian. I'm not sure most people knew that. So we're everywhere. And, that dude didn't have to drive that close because I'm on the other side of the street. That was some BS, but whatever. That's why I kind of like walking on the side of the street where the traffic is coming. I thought that's what I was doing, but, you adjust when you're in a foreign country. So yeah, I thought that was a key insight. He also talked about they're in Thailand currently, and he also talked about what your dollars do in these different countries. Guys, like Mexico's becoming more expensive, so it's 19 US pesos to $1 US, but Thailand is 34 to 1. 34 Thai baht to $1 US. I see stuff online a lot of people who are in Thailand. They're going to the store and they're showing you what they can get for a certain amount of money. And it's quite revealing, actually. And it shows you that you may not need quite as much money as you think you do to do what you want to do. And so there are some people, some of you guys who are over 50 who have done pretty well for yourselves in terms of taking care of your money. You've made some money. You've been able to invest. You've been able to save up. And so if you look at it from the standpoint of what your dollars can get in these different countries, how far your dollar will stretch, that's something that you should consider. Because where you thought that maybe you have to work more back in the United States, if you come to another country, you will see that your finances stretch so much further and that the cost of living is a lot more affordable. And so that allows you to be able to live comfortably on what you already have. That's a little bit of what I'm experiencing right now as I've been down here now. What is this? April, May, June. So I'm on my 3rd month here, and my lease runs up in August. What I'm starting to understand is that when you don't have a car, you don't have car insurance, you don't have to pay for gas, you don't have to pay for maintenance, you don't have to pay for parking. That takes out a lot of expenses. Health insurance, I was paying upwards of $800 a month just for me. I'm single. Just for me, I was paying $800 a month in health insurance. Down here, I have private health insurance. That's around $100 a month. Think about that, guys. And that private health insurance here in Mexico is way better than the health insurance in the United States. I'm just telling you. So when you factor all that in, how far the dollar's stretching these different countries. Then he talked about, and you've heard me mention this, the vitamin D aspect, getting enough sun. He talked about when he would come back to the United States, he'd have to travel through Chicago, because I think he, to get into directly into Detroit must have been more expensive. So he would go through Chicago and take a train back to Kalamazoo, Michigan. And any of you guys know, if you live in the upper Midwest or you live in the north somewhere in the United States, in the wintertime, that's a dreary experience. And you don't realize how tough that is on us people of color when you have to go back to that type of weather. That's hard, man. That's not what we're built to be in the sun. We're built to experience vitamin D on a regular basis. It doesn't hurt our skin like it does other people. And so he talked about that, and he said that one of the last times when he went back, he said, I'm not doing this again. And he figured out a way. He and his wife, April, Rondell and April are college graduates, but they figured out if I could teach English overseas, that could be my entryway into a life that they want to lead. And so since 2017, April and Rondell have been traveling different places around the world, and they have shared their experiences. And I'll leave you with this, which was kind of crazy. And you're gonna see all this in the interview when I post it. I'm gonna try to either post it later on today or tomorrow. But they showed in an Instagram post, because they had pictures from each month, they showed that they spent $12,000 on airline flights and lodging for a year. So I believe it was 6 or 7 different countries they went to. They spent, 2 people spent $12,000 on airline and living accommodations. They don't do hotels, they do Airbnbs. But think about that, guys. That's a couple, right? So if you're married and you are trying to look to do this, there's no excuse. You've got an example of a couple, a black couple, that went did their travels around the world in a year. They documented it, and it was $12,000. Now, that's not the total. Obviously, they had to eat. They had entertainment expenses, different things like that. I'm sure they've got software that they use to, help get their content up online and all that stuff. But guys, $12,000 for travel and accommodations for a year? I don't care how much food you eat. You're not spending more than $30,000 a year. That's a couple. Now, they're obviously, they know what they're doing. They're pros at it. But that just gives you a sense, guys, of what the possibilities are out here when you're looking to get outside the United States. All right? So, I've got something new. If you want to join me, join our text group, 312-847-2739. Again, 312-847-2739. That will sign you up for our text group. It's just a chat group. I don't blow you up. I won't sell your information. Just go there, put the information in, and you'll be a part of it. And I'll send you a confirmation text, okay? So I want to see you guys in there, because we need to try to get off some of these platforms and get to our own stuff so that we can really talk genuinely without who listening. Okay, guys, have a great day. Get out and move. Love you all. Until next time, holla, y'all.